Hill Aerospace Museum is located just off the north side of the Hill Air Force Base. We've been taking our kids here since they were little. And if you have somebody in your life that loves planes, this is a place to go. It is absolutely amazing. I was going to take a lot more video. I was going to like take notes and do name drops. We had brought my in-laws up here for the day, but it turns out there were a lot of school groups here that day, and so I ended up just taking a lot of pictures because I didn't want to wind up accidentally posting a whole lot of kids on here. So I tried my best to show you the different areas. My photography skills are not, amazing or anything. I was just on my cell phone, and some people have awesome cell phones, but I have a really old one. However, I just wanted to give you a chance to see the different areas. They have the WASP section, which is Women in the Air Force, and that was an absolutely amazing little area, one of my favorites. It involves women that were allowed to take the planes across different areas, deliver them where they needed to go. However, they were not allowed to go into combat, but it was one extra way in which they were able to serve and to help. And next we have a display of a Japanese outfit, as well as some of the weaponry that they had on hand. My father-in-law made me giggle when he said, I didn't even know there was a war in Alaska. And I thought, well, actually, neither did I. But the Japanese were encroaching on some of the little islands off to the left on the little map. And they wanted to make sure that the Japanese could not get into Alaska. And so there was a war up in the Alaskan area. There was also intercontinental ballistic missiles, ICBMs, on display. This was during the time of the Cold War, and so there was a lot of things to make you aware, and things to do just in case. These helicopters were really interesting. They look huge. I mean, they're ginormous. But on the inside, filled with men, they would be so uncomfortable, seriously. We are about to head into the Vietnam War area, and that is probably one of the hardest areas for me to go into. They have a display of where some of the men, the prisoners of war from North Vietnam, were held, and it's a hard one to go through. In one of the displays, it shows one of the captors' drawings of the torture that they went through when they were there, and that is hard to see. One of the men who goes around and helps, he's a volunteer. He goes around and he helps talk about it. He would get emotional every single time a group of kids came around, and he would talk about what happened there. And then after this, we would go into this little room where it would talk about the experience of one of the captors there. His name was Jay Hess, and he was there for about 6 years. If you'll notice the little picture down in the bottom right-hand corner, that's when he was finally released, and he got to see his daughter for the first time in 6 years. They would sometimes put upwards of 4 to 6 men in this tiny little room. And so some people would have to stand or just sit uncomfortably for hours and hours and hours at a time. It's an emotional room to go into. That massive silver in the upper left-hand corner, that is Utah's fallen from the Vietnam War. Here it is from a different area. You used to be able to go up a lot closer to it, but I think that too many people were trying to handle the dog tags. But it's, again, another emotional place to be. This one made me laugh because it looks like Mickey Mouse, but when you go when you go close up to it, it's known as Dragon Lady. But this is a new area that they just opened up, and it is full of some of the more commonplace, not commonplace. What's the word I want? Modern airplanes. I mean, those turbines are huge. It's just incredible to be able to see that. you saw my in-laws for a moment. They were allowed to use, they have wheelchairs and scooters that you can use, but this one I wanted to end on because it is an Air Force One plane, and they didn't even realize it was an Air Force One plane when they got it. And so that, I just thought that was neat. So I hope you'll go one day. It's a pretty neat place. Make it a great day, everybody. Bye bye.